Aloha mai, velina mai ne, makohawaii pai aina. We are live with you once again here at Akaku Community Television Studio. It is April 22nd and the year is 2013. Mahalo for joining us. We welcome and invite you once again. We are here live. Mahalo to all of the crew here, volunteer and staff, to your community television studio. You need a venue, and so do I. We all need a venue to continue our free speech and to also perpetuate free speech. If we tend to let that fall away, then who knows what else will happen. We may see several Boston situations popping up around the globe. So be ever vigilant, perhaps hyper vigilant, on keeping and protecting your rights. Make yourself aware of what is going on with the administrations and the not so beneficial intentions and goals that they may have, which do involve you. So whether or not you think you're part of the constituency, reality check. You're going to get moved along with all the rest anyway if you don't allow your voice to be heard. So that's what this is all about tonight. We have a wonderful show. I'd like to say aloha and velina to the new baby, to Ohana Kawaiʻaia, mahalo. I know all of Hana is rejoicing, and it's also a little bit kaumaha too. But that's life, and that's what makes life so beautiful, is that we're able to welcome in, and we never say goodbye. There's no olelo. There's no word or hua'olelo for goodbye in Hawaii culture. We say ahui ho until we meet again, until we regroup once again. And until then, you're on another journey, and we bless and give light. And aloha to all the ohana out there, ohana kawaiʻaia. Our hearts are with you. So many blessings. We have a few mentions before we start our show with our special guest tonight. And no, it's not going to be a music dancing scene. We're going to be talking about a very serious subject this evening. By the way, happy Earth Day to all of you, o kako. We celebrate Earth Day outwardly as much for one day around the globe. However, we want to encourage you to celebrate Earth Day every day. It's her day, every day, all the time. It's about time we start going back to the basics, whether you call it indigenous wisdoms or ancient beliefs. We have this intrinsic relationship that we're all coming back to, and it really feels like all of you out there really want it, and you're really calling it back in. And I encourage you to do this and bring the families together. It's time to seek these indigenous wisdoms and empower our relationships to our Mother Earth. So happy Earth Day to all of you. We have a couple of mentions before we get started. Check out Food Ukate. Check out Food Ukate. That's the word food, the letter U, C-A-T-E. And that's an app for your phone where if you're out at a restaurant or something, and or you want to check out a good place to eat, you want to know whether or not they're serving you cancer-filled GMO foods, you can check out this incredible app. It's Food Ukate, and get educated about your food. So we highly encourage that one there. And good on whoever created that, right on. Also, Vandana Shiva speaks with Leslie Wilcox, over on the mainstream Oahu television channels. It's going to be, PBS Hawaii is going to be airing Long Story Short. And Vandana Shiva has been in the forefront of the fight against GMOs forever. And she's a very strong voice for us source out there, and she is a force to be reckoned with. Very articulate, intelligent wahine, and she's able to educate you. So get on it and check it out. PBS Hawaii, Tuesday the 23rd, 7:30 p.m. Wednesday the 24th, 11 p.m. Sunday the 28th at 4 p.m. And also, if you forgot all that already, you can just go to the Truth and Justice Facebook page and check out the links that we carry on the page. And also you can check out our old shows and interesting mana'o is shared on the page with you as well. And we want your mana'o to be shared with us on that page. And Napua, if you're out there or if Ohana Napua is watching, please let her know that Auntie Mahea has asked her to please respond to me about doing a show. So call me or something, okay? Or Bun Buns, talk to your girlfriend. So Butterfly Effect is happening. I think it's beineffect.com, where you can check out a wonderful benefit that is held every year. It's a benefit for supping and also water sports, and just come down and be part of your community and support the Paia Youth and Cultural Center on April 27th. That's Saturday. It'll begin at 10 a.m. with a blessing by myself and a few other meaka ko'o. You know, we can bring in the spirit and we can perpetuate all the energies that carry the blessings throughout the day. Make sure we have a wonderful day and also prosperous one. We want to malama our children and also the people who malama our children for us while we're at work or doing other things. So mahalo to you, great warriors. Also, Earth Day. We're having a wonderful Earth Day event held at the Maui Nui Botanical Gardens in Kahului. It's part of the Keopolani Park, and some of you may know it as just, you know, the old zoo across from the baseball stadium. It's happening on April 28th, Sunday. It's going to go all day. Come and celebrate with us. We'll be there. You'll be there. Your ohana will be there. And that's blessed with tons of entertainment, tons of good food, and tons of informational booths and people there that are willing to share and bless you with knowledge about everything from permaculture to chemtrails to just being able to network with other farmers and also ocean people, because our ecos is what brings our relationships together. Why should we be separated from our environment if we look at ourselves as being human beings? They go together. Again, ancient wisdoms, indigenous cultures got it going on. So just because in our modern history we've been imposed with the thought to separate everything, doesn't mean that that's the best thing for us, or that we should even perpetuate these things. So check it out. Go to MauiEarthDay.org if you want to volunteer, if you want to be a part of it. Speak now, forever hold your peace. It's going to be a long, wonderful day. Bring your ohana down and your hali'i and check it out. Some of the main stage musicians going to be on that day is Spirit Tribe, Omar and Rare Vibration. Also, Makana will be joining us at this festival this year. I'd like to go on and tell you everything, but you can go check out the website yourself. Once again, happy Earth Day to all of you. And this leads me into introducing a guest that we've had here on the show before. However, we can't get enough of the information that she's been sharing and blessing us all with. It's about something that is connected to your house, that connects your house to a larger grid, and that connection to that larger grid actually goes into a part of our lives that we don't necessarily need intruded upon. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Debra Greene. Aloha.
Aloha, and thank you. It's great to be back.
Yay, and thank you for being here with us. Mahalo. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day to you. I
Thank
feel like
you.
I should burst into song or something. Happy Earth Day to you.
It's your birthday. Okay, we have many things on the table that you brought.
We do.
I feel like we're gonna have a workshop or something. And this is wonderful. So,
well, there's so much to talk about.
yeah. How about how you got started in this? What are you doing now?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, my background is in energy medicine. I'm an energy medicine consultant, and you know, the more I learn about indigenous cultures, the more I see how energy medicine and indigenous cultures are so similar. Because, for example, when you said in the Hawaiian language there's no word for goodbye, well, in energy medicine there wouldn't be either, because we know that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So we don't die. And so there's no need to say goodbye. And you know, energy, everything is energy, so it's this force that connects us all together, and connects us with the earth and the sky and the oceans and everything in between. So it's this kind of common denominator. So it's wonderful to be working in an arena that is both ancient and modern.
It really is. If the energy is perpetuated, it's perpetual, then there isn't really there's no split, there's no divide.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what you cover in your book here.
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
Tutu, you still have my book. I'd like to have it back, please.
Mm-hmm. So where should we dive in? Should we talk about smart meters first?
I think so. I think that the people on Maui and Lanai and Molokai still haven't, that it hasn't reached out there in the greater numbers that we want to see, is people having awareness and not allowing these things to be put on their homes. Why? Why should they not be placed on our homes?
Because they are dangerous. The meters are dangerous. And I'm just going to hold this up so that people can get a visual image of what we're talking about. It's a utility meter. You know, in your home, you have a utility meter that measures your electrical consumption. And what's happening is there's the agenda to replace our electrical meters, the ones that have the little dials on them, with these kinds of meters that are called smart meters. And the problem with smart meters is that they are connected by radio frequencies, in other words, microwave frequencies, and that produces radiation that's harmful to humans and plants and animals and all living things.
So you've got a little bit of Fukushima in the home.
Well, it is radiation. It's a different type of radiation than, Fukushima radiation, but yes. And, it's part of the electromagnetic spectrum, and it's a high frequency, a radio frequency radiation that has been proven to have detrimental health effects. It affects our neurology, it affects our immune system, it affects our brain functioning, it impairs the blood-brain barrier, it causes all kinds of secondary effects like fatigue, ringing in the ears, headaches, insomnia. Some people get dizzy, and I mean, there's so many aspects of our health that get negatively affected by these smart meters, and you cannot shut them off because they're constantly, measuring your electricity use,
Right.
and you can't move them because they're mounted on the side of your house, and the radiation that gets emitted is not contained. because the smart meters are designed to communicate with each other and also to communicate with a bigger grid.
Right,
And the next thing I want to say about the grid is that it's much more than a grid like here on Maui or for Maui County or for the state of Hawaii. This grid is actually part of a global agenda. And it's called the Internet of Things. And if you want to have a real eye-opening experience, you can Google that phrase, Internet of Things, and it will just blow your mind. The idea is pervasive, ubiquitous, omnipresent devices that have radio frequency emissions in them and that can communicate in this wireless way. And for our lives to be completely filled with these and you know, every aspect of our existence will be monitored and spied upon. And that's another detrimental effect of the smart meters. It's like having a spy in your home.
It can create like a sonar imaging, or kind of like just anything having to do with waves, as far as I know, can bounce back.
Exactly.
And send an image back to
right.
the Wizard of Oz somewhere.
Oh, if only.
And I wanted to ask you if you could explain to our audience, how does this start? How does this begin? You've got your old style meter, you've got the dial moving. How do you get from there to having this digital radioactive device on your home?
Well, it depends on where you are in the world, but on Maui, we have a pilot project going in Maui Meadows, and at the moment, they're just taking volunteers. The good news is they wanted 200 volunteers, but they didn't get near their goal.
Yay.
Yes, that's a very good thing, because people started catching on and refused to sign up for these cancer spies in their home.
Good job.
So for now, and the bad part of that is that people think that, oh, just because it's voluntary, it's no big deal, it's just a pilot project, no big deal, but it's not true. I mean, the agenda is to move ahead with this full speed ahead, pretty much no matter what, you know? So, you know, I caution us to not fall into complacency thinking, oh, it's not that big a deal. It's a really big deal. And every electronic device in your home has an electronic signature, and that signature can be and is permanently recorded by these smart meters, and the data is shipped from Maui, I shouldn't say shipped, but transmitted from Maui straight to the mainland. So, you know, why are we you know, going to lay off all of our meter readers, you know, people who need jobs? We're going to put them out of a job so that we can collect this data and send it to the mainland. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
And risk our health and the health of our babies, the
and
health
our
of
privacy,
our family, and allow greater interest taking in the home. So it does deteriorate privacy.
Absolutely.
Right, and that's something that you should know majorly and deeply, deeply consider, is how much are you willing to give away to the administration? I mean, look at the poor people in Boston, okay? It's not that extreme right here, but the fundamentals are similar. The more you give, the more will be taken from you. And the importance, I think, about this that you're bringing to the, you know, to the light once again over here, is that it's a health risk or hazard. I've read research where people have had these blow up and start fires in their homes.
Yes.
And that is documented.
Yes.
That is documented. And also the health effects having to do with the brain disorders.
And cancer. Cancer is a big connection with this microwave frequency radiation.
Yes, yes. It's real, people. And you don't just take it from us. You go do your own research too, where we can offer that to you, and we're directing you to where you can educate yourself on this. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, this might be a good time to mention our website, which is stopsmartmetershawaii.com. And if you go to the website, we have a resources page, and there's lots of websites and links that you can check out there to get more information. Because this isn't just our pet little agenda. This is really big, and more people are becoming aware and realizing that these things are very bad, and they're being pushed on people. It's not happening so much here on Maui yet, but in other parts, like on the mainland, people have been arrested for refusing to have smart meters. People have, yeah.
Who's doing the pushing and the supplying?
Well, it's a good question. The whole thing is happening because of a collusion between corporations and government. And it used to be, that the government would kind of look out for the people. That is not happening anymore. Instead of looking out for us, the government has been bought and sold by these corporations, and so the government is just like an extension of corporations, and that's the agenda. There are billions upon billions of dollars at stake here with this whole smart meter, smart grid agenda. And the important thing to realize is smart meters are not an end in themselves. They are part of this much bigger agenda, the Internet of Things.
Go check out the Internet of Things. Google it.
Yeah, it's scary. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I can see just help centers for this type of thing because the administration is no longer government when the people are not a part of the governing process. And obviously, the corporations have this agenda, as you've said, and the administration is linked into that because they benefit each other, obviously.
Yeah. So on Maui, we're getting millions of dollars from the U.S. government for this project, and so it's heavily subsidized, and and it's all being greenwashed. And what I mean by that is they're pushing it by saying, oh, it's good for sustainability, and this is an eco-friendly project, and it's just not so.
That is such rubbish. I'm so tired of corporations utilizing that front, and fronting that they're green and fronting that they're conscious and eco-conscious. But really, the bottom line is you have to look at where you stand, and also, health. You can't mess with that. I just had like a pneumonia, and for the first time in my life, some bronchial things. Well, I'm exiting. I'm exiting that right now. Thank you to all of the blessings I've had, and also to the doctor. And I was surprised to learn that it's constant. That people have breathing problems on an island where there are trades all the time. Yeah. And it seems like the corporate and administration connection doesn't serve the people. And I see that in this. Yeah. Why smart meters? Why are they called smart meters?
Well, I mean, if you want my opinion, I think they're calling them smart meters because it's just a marketing ploy, and they want people to think that if you don't have one, you're stupid. And I mean, but according to industry, smart means that it's a wireless device that communicates data and allows you more freedom in your life because the device is doing things to, assist you and so forth. But don't buy the propaganda, that's all I have to say. If something has the word smart in it, run away, run fast. Right. And I don't want to just focus on negative stuff because I have some other things here that I would like to talk about that may be interesting to people, because the smart meters, operate in the microwave frequency range, and so does your cell phone. and so does Wi-Fi on the computer. So, you know, it's something to pay attention to and be aware of. And I wanted to talk a little bit about things that, you know, people can do to help kind of safety-proof their cell phone. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about these curly Q light bulbs.
Absolutely.
Should we do that?
Yes, thank you for bringing them.
All right. So maybe we'll do the light bulbs first, because, you know, this is another thing that they're really pushing, right? I mean, how many times have you read or heard, you know, get rid of your old-fashioned, you know, incandescent light bulb and get these instead because they'll save you energy. These bulbs are toxic. Not only are they toxic because they contain mercury, which is a known, you know, biohazard, but they also emit something called dirty electricity. And it has to do with the ballast and the way these bulbs are made and the way they operate. They emit dirty electricity, and dirty electricity has been shown to have really negative health effects. So these light bulbs are making people sick, and they're in your household. So we'll show you a brief little video that demonstrates what happens when you use these compact fluorescent curly Q light bulbs.
Okay.
So I replaced every single light bulb in my house with compact fluorescent bulbs, you know, the curly Q ones, because I wanted to be eco-friendly and I wanted to save money on electricity. And now I've heard about this thing called dirty electricity.
I had this demonstration box built so that I could show the effects of dirty electricity. I have a Graham-Stetzler meter that's plugged in with nothing on, and right now we're reading at about anywhere from 57 to 60 Graham-Stetzler units. Okay, Deborah, could you turn on the light, please, the incandescent? So we see that it jumped a little bit to 64, 65, and settled right back into that original range. But let's see what happens when we turn on the compact fluorescent.
Whoa.
Jumped up to 600 and is settling in at about 480, 479 Graham-Stetzler units. This is the electrical energy that is radiating into your environment when you use these bulbs.
I just replaced all of them.
The solution is simply keep your old-fashioned incandescent light bulbs, and as they become more affordable, convert over to LED light bulbs.
And I heard that LEDs are even more energy efficient than these compact fluorescents, so it'll be great when they come down in price a little bit more. And with these light bulbs, if you accidentally like drop one and break it, it's a big deal because it contains hazardous material like mercury, and it's really bad for landfill. That just seems like there's something terribly wrong with this picture. So the bottom line is these bulbs are not good for us, and it's much better and healthier to just continue to use your old-fashioned, you know, household light bulb.
Right. And dispose of them properly, please.
These, yes, very important because they can very much contaminate your home also. Like if you accidentally drop one and break it, the mercury becomes a vapor and you end up breathing it into your system, and that's very not good for you.
It's very dangerous. I had these, hopefully I have all of them replaced in my home. And for some, I didn't even want them.
With these, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I learned that these were so horrible and they have mercury in them, it's just not a good thing to have in the home. There's so many things that are marketed to be in your home and a part of your home and actually in the materials of the home that are not healthy.
Exactly.
What else?
And they're expensive too, you know, so.
Yes.
All right. So next, I'd like to talk a little bit about how to safety-proof your cell phone, because you know, cell phones also operate in the microwave frequency range, many of them, and you know, there are certain safety tips if you follow. You know, you can still use your cell phone. I'm not anti-technology, you know, but we just have to learn how to use these things in a safe way.
You're just pro-health.
Yes, very much
Yes,
pro-health.
thank you.
So one of the rules to follow with a cell phone is don't keep the cell phone on your body when you have the cell phone on. And you know, when I was growing up, this is how old I am, but the televisions had rabbit ear antennas. Mm-hmm. And as kids, we used to play with the antenna. We'd grab onto it, you know, and the television reception would improve when we grabbed
Mm-hmm.
onto the antenna, and that's because our bodies are electrical in nature. Mm-hmm. And so when you grab onto the TV antenna, you know, you're turning your body into an antenna, and so the reception improves. Well, the same thing happens when you put a cell phone in contact with your body. If you carry it in your pocket, or some women have this terrible tendency to put it in their bra, and you're turning your body into an antenna. And because our bodies are electrical, having this in contact with your body disturbs those electrical impulses that are the basis of our biological functioning. And so you're impairing your body at a very fundamental level, and that's why we have all of these negative health effects, you know, associated with these kinds of technologies. So rule number one is keep the cell phone off your body. Another thing is to turn the cell phone off, and then when you want to access your messages, just turn it on. You know, either download your messages from email, get your texts all at once, get your voicemail all at once, and then, you know, turn it off again. So kind of use it like a, you know, like a portable payphone or something. Don't just keep it on all the time. And another thing you can do is to forward your cell phone to a landline if you're at home or at your office where you have a landline. And that way you don't miss any calls at all. It's very seamless. People call your cell phone and it just rings through to your landline. And it's just a really nice way to cut down on your cell phone use, which is really what we need to do.
And your exposure to the emissions.
Yes, yeah. So another thing that you can do is to get one of these headsets. And we hear a lot about using headsets, which is good, but there's a particular kind of headset that's really much better. And that's something called a hollow tube headset. And it has a copper wire, just like most headsets, but towards the earpiece, it has this little section that is, instead of being a copper wire, it's actually a hollow tube, like a doctor's stethoscope. So the sound waves continue to travel through this hollow tube, and you can hear really actually very well with these hollow tube headsets. But what that hollow tube does is it stops the radiation from traveling into your head. And if you're just using a plain headset, the radiation is still traveling up that copper wire into your head. So this little hollow tube headset is a good solution to that.
Where can we get that?
You know, you can get this at a website called lessemf.com, less, L-E-S-S, E-M-F, as in electromagneticfields.com. And that website is kind of like a clearinghouse for all kinds of gadgets and devices related to electromagnetic frequencies. Okay. So yeah, so that's, and it's not expensive. I mean, I think it costs like $39 or something, which is really not much when you think about it.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple more things. So this is kind of like a, you know, like a barrier type thing, and you can also get, you know, devices like this, like Stop the Wave, and it's this little, the device is actually this little decal thing right here, and you take it out of the box and you would, you know, adhere it to your cell phone. And something like that, it has metal in it, and it acts like a little Faraday cage. I don't mean to get too technical on you, but it stops the frequencies. And this is just another kind of device that's similar. And this one is actually taken from technology that's used on the stealth bomber to protect the pilots from the radiation of, you know, flying so fast. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is the Q-Link products. By the way, I don't sell any of this stuff, and I'm not, you know, a part of any of these companies or anything. You know, I'm just here to raise awareness and help people. So the Q-Link company makes some products that I have seen independent research on, and so I know that they help. And one of those is this little, again, it's like a little decal thing that you can stick onto your phone, and it helps to work with your energy field and make it more resilient to the frequencies. And then the Q-Link company also makes a pendant like this one that I'm wearing. And I basically wear this all the time because I'm electrosensitive. And there's so much electro pollution now. I mean, even if you don't have a cell phone or don't use Wi-Fi on your computer, your neighbor probably does. So we get affected, and same with the smart meters. You know, I don't have a smart meter, but my neighbors do, and so I get affected by that. And so, you know, when it comes to protection, my advice is to dress in layers. Layers of protection. It's you know, it's very helpful.
Wow, thank you so much. So the website again.
If you want to look at and purchase these types of products, it's lessemf.com, www.lessemf.com. And the Q-Link company, if you go to the letter Q, LINK products.com, that's where you can find like the pendant and the Q-Link clears, and they have an array of other products as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, and a couple more rules about cell phones. Do not use your cell phone in your car. Because
oh my God,
microwaves don't travel through metal. That's why we're told don't put a metal pan into a microwave oven, right? We've all heard that. Why not? Because sparks fly. Why do sparks fly? Because the microwaves cannot penetrate through metal. They do penetrate through everything else. So when you're inside a car with your cell phone on, you're drawing the microwave frequency into the car because that's the carrier signal for your cell phone, and then the signal can't get out because it gets trapped by the metal of your car, and it basically turns your car into a mobile microwave oven with you on the inside. So it's not a good thing. And you probably also notice that if you talk on your cell phone in the car for a long time, it drains the battery a lot faster. And that has to do with the cell phone powering up to find a new relay station as you're driving, you know, from one point in space to another. It has to go from station to station. So don't use your cell phone in the car. And the last thing I want to really emphasize is please, please, please do not give a cell phone to children.
yeah,
Children are way more susceptible to these types of radiation, and you know, their developmental stages, their skulls are thinner, and they're the ones who really get very negatively impacted. So, you know, a cell phone is not a toy, and it should not be treated like a toy, and it should not be given to children.
it just makes me think of ADD and ADHD. They're actually symptoms of this.
Yes, they are. As is dementia, by the way. Yeah.
Because you're literally microwaving your brain.
It's true. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Just because you don't see it, people, doesn't mean it's not happening. So this is very important. This is a Mianui thing, that you be aware of microwaves and how they affect you, and then where they're coming from and how are you going to get rid of it, or how are you going to prevent it. In speaking with Dr. Patrick Flanagan a few months ago, we noticed that he had this clear nail polish on, and he had clear nail polish on with red dots in them, and he also had them on his cell phone, and he had them on his laptop as well. And we asked him what these red dots were about, and he said it's alai from Hawaii. And he discovered that the elements in the alai, the minerals in the alai, actually prevent the microwaves from getting into your body or coming up through your fingertips while you're typing on your laptop, and also through the phone. So he came up with a very simple solution. Go get a lye, grate it into some clear nail polish, and then apply it to these places where you would apply those devices that you showed us. And they're good too. But if you know about a lye and you want to remain with that type of earthy solution path, then get some alai and some clear nail polish and wear it. Put it on your Wi-Fi, because that also emits radio active waves. So, not radioactive, but
radio frequency.
Radio frequencies.
Right.
So you've got your Wi-Fi, the tower, whatever, and you want to protect it, kind of barrier yourself there. That could be done with alai. And also, I think Yaza, who was on the video with you, explained to myself and another person that we could put like a pan in front of it.
Yes. Yeah, let me talk about that a little bit, because that's another really simple solution.
Okay.
And it has to do with Wi-Fi. So if you have Wi-Fi in your home, you have a modem and a router, and you can take, again, something metal, because those high frequency, those radio frequency or microwave frequency, they can't travel through metal. So what I do at home is I just bought a metal bread pan, and I put it on top of my modem. And the interesting thing is that I've measured the results of that with this high frequency analyzer, and it really cuts down the radiation level by doing that, and it still works. The Wi-Fi still works.
Nice.
And what that tells me is that these devices are so overbuilt. They overbuild them so that we're just getting saturated with these frequencies. And really, why does it have to be so strong? It doesn't. But that's the way it is. So the other thing you can do is, if you happen to have a modem where you can turn off the Wi-Fi, you can just use it instead with the cable, the DSL cable.
Right, right.
So then you don't have the Wi-Fi, radiating at all.
You know what I've found, that where the Wi-Fi is in my home, like hardly anyone goes there. We're in other rooms or in other places, and we prefer that. Yeah, we're hardly right there next to that Wi-Fi.
Interesting.
Yes.
And animals know too. They tend to know, where to go and where to stay away from. Just instinctively, they're sensitive to these frequencies. I wanted to mention that if you want to learn more tips like the bread pan or the other sorts of things that you can do, you can go to radiationpage.com. And there's more informational videos there, and there's a free report that you can download, and it has all kinds of tips and techniques to help you be a little bit more savvy in using these devices and using them in ways that are healthier and safer.
It's like, before most people go out and buy a car, they read Consumer Digest.
It's true.
They automatically go and get some info.
Well, the other interesting thing about cars is when they were first, invented, there were no seat belts, no airbags, no sun visors, there were so many things, safety features that were missing because they just didn't know. And it's the same with these technologies. These technologies are so new. And so there are no safety devices built into these. There's no seat belts, there's no airbags, there's no nothing. And I hope and pray that over the years, that they will start paying attention to these things. But the sad news is it's going to cost a lot of human lives and a lot of health. It's going to have to be compromised in order for that to happen. And that's very sad, But somehow we live in this culture where it's like, just go speed ahead, you know, and then we'll ask questions later, and you know, we'll you know, create safety regulations later after people have been, you know, affected, and it's very, very sad. But
This I just have to come back to this here. You know, Silver Spring Networks. Silver Spring Networks is associated to placing a device which microwaves you and your family and everything else around. And that smart meter is, it's easily associated to a microwave. Because then a lot of people know how to use a microwave,
Right.
and you know, even train their children
Right.
to use a microwave.
Step away from the oven.
Yes, and then also, you know, we've been told not to stand right in front of the microwave and wait there and watch, you know, the little box go. And then but when you do, you see everything bubbling up from the inside out. And if you've ever over microwaved a hot dog,
That does not sound pleasant.
you could. I've never, okay.
No.
But so I've heard, right? But it's bubbling and it's all cooked from the inside out.
Yes.
So once again,
That's
you're
how
not
microwaves
seeing,
work.
Yeah, you're not seeing any effects outside.
Exactly.
So it may be too late. Cancer is already at the door. Your cells are already distorted.
Yeah.
They've already been intruded upon by this frequency that doesn't belong in your body. Keep your energy pure and clean. Keep your energy moving, and continue to make yourself aware. And thank you, Dr. Greene, for bringing this once again. Thank you for being on the show
My
and
pleasure.
for sharing and blessing.
Thank you very much.
I would like to ask you about this device. So you said
one?
you held it up for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about this.
This is a high frequency analyzer, and you know, one of the reasons that I brought this in along with these other instruments is to show you that when it comes to electronics, it's very complex. Like there's all of these different instruments. The high frequency analyzer measures high frequency on the electromagnetic spectrum. It measures frequencies in the microwave range, radio frequency, radiation. But the spectrum is much bigger than that, and so there's a lot of other instruments that are required to measure different aspects of electropollution. And this is a Stetzerizer which measures dirty electricity from these light bulbs, which we talked about earlier. And it's a different device, and it measures, you know, a different aspect of electropollution. And there's a couple of other instruments over there too. And you know, really the point I want to make is that it's complex. So you know, it's not like there's just one aspect of the spectrum that we need to pay attention to, because we humans we get sick whether we're exposed to the higher frequencies or the lower ones or the ones in between, and we're just getting so saturated because there's so many electronics now, you know, in our homes. It never used to be that way, and you know, we're just swimming in this soup, and so it's really something to pay attention to. And I also wanted to mention, just getting back to the smart meter thing, that Silver Springs Networks is the company that is you know, present here on Maui. I shouldn't say present on Maui because they're on the mainland. They are you know, responsible for our smart meters, and so is the Maui Economic Development Board. That's the Maui liaison for the smart meter project. The University of Hawaii is involved. And Miko is involved. So there's many players in this smart meter game. Many players. So it's just really something to be aware of. And the other aspect that, you know, we talked about the negative health effects. We talked about the invasion of privacy and how these devices actually turn into surveillance. You know, spying on you inside your home. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that having a so-called smart grid where all of these meters are interconnected and communicating with each other, and sending data to a hub and sending data to the mainland and interacting with other grids, it makes all of the electrical grid extremely vulnerable to hacking and terrorism and so forth, because it's all done on the internet.
How about vulnerable to one control?
That too.
Yeah.
Potentially, yes.
One guy's got, control of the one switch.
Right. Or one group,
Right, right. Yeah. And that would be a sad time in the history of mankind.
It's
It's
highly probable, given the Internet of Things agenda.
That people should be aware of, and then just don't let it happen.
That's right.
Right, just don't let it happen.
Take back your power. Keep your power.
Yay. Right on. Let's go, sister. Speaking of sister, I want to let you know, Mahina Martin, right on girl, Holumuana. She just posted via Facebook, and I'm going to hold this as far away as I can.
I was going to say, this is interesting.
And I'll be able to read it and let you know.
Okay, can I give you a little
is.
tip?
Okay.
Put it on the table.
Okay.
And read it off the table. I mean, this is what we do, right? We're holding it. It's in touch with our body. We're getting irradiated. Just put it on the table. It's a good habit to get into. Put it on the table.
And it's exercise for
Yes.
your eyeballs.
There you go.
Okay, so Mahina Martin posted, Facebook, it's done. The PLDC agency is abolished.
Yay!
Yay! Yes. Woo!
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you. Today, the acting governor signed into law a repeal of the Public Land Development Corporation. Couldn't have happened without everyone's help from all islands. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo.
Wow.
Yay.
That's huge.
I know, it's great. And then if you want to read more, check out our posts. And Mahina, share that with all of your friends that have bunches and bunches of friends. And then you friends, share it with more friends, because people need to know. Yay.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations
Yay.
to us.
Thank you. Thank us. Mahalo, mahalo.
Yes, mahalo.
Right on, Mahina. Good going, and thanks for posting and keeping us aware of what's going on. And that's what this is about. The show is about keeping you aware of what's going on, whether it's cultural economics or music or politics or just hanging out with the ohana and events where we could go to and just share. And this is what it is about. Keeping each other healthy, keeping our families healthy, and we live Hawaii.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
yeah.
God.
Yay! We're so happy. Do you want me to reach over and get those other devices there?
Can, but there's not a whole lot to say about them. We can talk about the book.
Yes, tutu.
So yeah, if you're interested in learning more about the radiation and how to protect yourself and learning about all things energy, you can check out my book, Endless Energy: The Essential Guide to Energy Health, and it's the new home health guide for the 21st century. It makes use of what we now know about energy medicine and applies it to your life, and how to stay healthy in ways that empower you, because it's not about buying stuff or participating in big pharma or anything like that. So
Nice.
Check that out, and I might mention the Stop Smart Meters Hawaii website once more. We do have a petition on that website, and if you could please sign the petition, we'd really appreciate it. We have almost 1,000 signatures
Yay.
on the petition to stop the smart meters and the smart grid. And so, once again, it's stopsmartmetershawaii.com, and please sign the petition. And one other little thing, do I have time to say something else about the whole smart grid agenda?
Yes.
Because in the state of Hawaii, it involves construction of the smart grid involves smart meters. It involves also undersea
meters.
cables. Yes, water meters.
Yes.
We have water meter, so-called smart water meters on Maui.
Right.
And most people don't even know that their old water meter has been replaced by the new so-called smart, wireless microwave emitting device. So, that's good to know. And, look at your water meter. Chances are you'll see that it's a smart meter. And the fact that all this is being done without our knowledge it just is not right.
It's not cool.
No.
No.
And as I was saying, the agenda in Hawaii also involves undersea cables, connecting some of the islands, and that has to do with big wind. And we're also learning now that big wind has detrimental health effects. It turns out that the human, organism is very sensitive to the sound waves that get emitted by the wind farms. And so, and then in addition to that, the undersea cables negatively affect marine life. And there's research, verifying that and backing that up. That's not just me saying that.
That's
So
right. That's proven.
yes.
It was demonstrated and proven during the last U.S. Navy testing, sonar testing, and they also incorporated that the energy ball.
Yes. Well, this is actually different than sonar because it's a different frequency. But for example, if you if you want, you can zoom in on that. But this is a report, the effects of electromagnetic fields from undersea power cables on ocean marine life. So it's a whole report. This report is 426 pages long, and then also. At the University of Maine, they're doing research on the effect of these undersea power cables on marine life and finding that there are definite negative impacts.
Well, they're also emitting under the water.
Yes.
And
it's both AC and DC, by the way, have these effects. So some people will say, oh, if it's DC, it's okay, but that's not the case. So we have to be so careful. And bigger is not better in this case.
Right. Wow, I'm just overwhelmed a bit, and I'm sure that you are too. But
I'm
keep
sorry.
in mind that thank you, because we have to learn and put our best.
Knowledge is
forward.
power.
Yes. The PLDC. Getting back to that, just to make sure and make certain that it really is killed and you kill it, dead, gone, exterminated forever, is make sure that you get together with people and you go ahead and you do the research and figure out where the next hidden agenda in the councils are going to be held, and always remain vigilant and aware. I want to say aloha, a shout out to Sandy, girlfriend. Thank you so much for making your wonderful creations, and also shout out to everybody out there, and and thank you to all of the wonderful crew and the staff here at Akaku Community Television Studio. Once again, we look forward to seeing you and all the ohana at the Earth Day celebration at Maui Nui Botanical Garden.
And we'll have a booth there, by the way.
Yes.
Stop Smart Meters Hawaii will have a booth. We would love to see you. We would love you to stop by and sign the petition.
Absolutely. And come on down and share and bless. And do some guerrilla planting of trees, for goodness sake. Your island, my island. Let's go, let's do it. All right, see you a couple of weeks. Thank you once again for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you.
All right. We got one more minute.
You know what I want to say?
Yeah.
I was mostly talking about the smart meters in Maui and Maui County.
Mm-hmm.
There are tens of thousands of smart meters in the state of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Most of them are on Oahu and on Kauai. So
All right.
just FYI. Yeah.
Pick up the phone.
Tens of thousands.
Or put your earplug in, talk to your ohana on those islands. Just let them know what's going
Please
on.
do.
Yeah, absolutely. The truth is good, and thank you so much.
you.
Energy is so vital.